All right, welcome. I know the field of vision is a little bit different here, and I apologize about that. There isn't quite much I can do quite yet, because this is a new GoPro, and my table light crapped itself a while ago, and my new one hasn't come from China yet. So I'll be looking forward to that. I don't know what ridiculous size this can go up to. I think it's like 5K or something wasteful. But I've only got one battery, so we've already used 2% just since I've turned this on. So we'll see. But what are we doing? I've started a new project, and it's a personal project. I will be making a grimoire out of this. And so what I need to do is I have to create a servitor to do a couple of tasks that I want to get done. Now, I can do these tasks myself, but I want to make this book, this grimoire, if you will, more usable for other people. So there's going to be some regular things in it too. It's not just going to be energetic. There are some parts in it that will be. But one of the things we're going to go over in this book is the creation of servitors a little bit, and they will be specific to this book. Mostly it'll be like, hey, I would check out this method. Like there's one from Baal Kadmon in his Demonic Servitors book. It's on Amazon Prime, and you can get it Amazon Kindle Unlimited. Excuse me. You can get it on Kindle Unlimited for free if you want to read it. It's not expensive. None of his stuff is expensive. So usually, if I like his books, I buy them. So that's one method. You can do the. Is it Taylor Underwood? He's got a book on there too. I think you can also get on Kindle Unlimited. But the Baal Kadmon one is pretty simple, right? Really simple. And I'll also be providing a sigil for one or more of them that the people can call if they don't feel like creating their own. And I mean, if you're going to go to the extent of doing the rest of the work, then I imagine they would. But just in case, maybe they aren't comfortable with that, or maybe they don't have the time. But anyways, so I'm going to kind of outline the method that I am going to use. I haven't made it yet. I've done some of the pre-work, and we're basically going to create it here in this video. So what I did was I went ahead and set the things that I wanted it to be able to do, right? The objectives that I would have for it to be successful, and I can always add to these. So I may, because I'm literally working this grimoire as we speak, and it's going to encompass some stars, things like that, and I needed to pull from those certain ones, and then another part of the book will be a bit darker, and we will be working with some of the Lovecraftian entities, and I'm not talking about the Lovecraft entities proper, if you will. I'm not talking about the egregores that you will get if you call now. There's a process that you can go through, and really, to talk to some of these entities, you have to kind of gain their attention, right? Not necessarily prove that you're worthy. I mean, I suppose you could look at it that way, but what is worthy? And there's no real answer for that. It's going to kind of be up to them. And now, if you've thought about let me pull that out real quick. If you thought about let's see, look at my field of vision, my gate of Cthulhu, then yes, this is somewhat similar to that. The difference here is that it will be a whole lot more involved, a whole lot more entities involved, that I know of now, and a lot more that I don't. So if you've kind of followed some of my work in that area before, you kind of have an idea. You know, I like to work with gates. Some people might call them portals. There are some differences in that, and some of that is just semantic, but other times it can be legit. So what are we doing here? We are creating a servitor with these 3 goals in mind. We're going to create connections, charge local gates, pull energy from the stars, and pull energy from the gates. So, pretty straightforward. The create connections portion is really the most important, and because we can always tell you, hey, create a connection from here, and then give it instructions to pull. One of the things that I've done in the past with like vampiric servitors, things like that I've created, that I still have around here, I usually use on high profile targets. Usually to try to make negative reinforcement against behavior I don't like. These usually aren't used for just regular people like you and me. But with that one, I would literally create it and say, I want to show you this skill, and then learn this skill. And I could do that here because I have those skills, but that's not really going to help anybody else, right? So what I've done is I've kind of broken this down into 3 areas, which is why there are 3 pieces of paper here. And there are a lot of different ways to sigilize what you want, right? Some people will suggest phrases and things like that. I don't necessarily need that personally, but I am going to take each part and I'm going to put it into sigilize each one, like, you know, create connections end up being, you know, that symbol there, right? And then I made another one from pull energy from stars and gates, because that's also what it has to do. And let's go to show that. So I went ahead and made one there, and then the last one is charge gates. Now you can just create servitors just to charge gates with whatever, but here I'm going to be charging them with very specific energies, and the purpose of that is obviously to be able to use that energy in certain ways. And I think on my blog I have one of those posts coming out, a little bit about it within the next month. I think I'm like a month ahead or something like that right now, with posts coming out like every 4 days. So when you put it all together, this is what I did. And there will be a better one that I'll make for it later. But these really are, this is going to kind of be I put this in a circle here specifically to contain the energies I'm going to put into this. And I put links here because that's meaningful to me when I create this, that it's going to do all these things: create gates, charge gates, pull energy from stars and gates. And so I'm essentially going to light each one of these up. All right. I may trace these energetically. I will probably do a circle on there first, but we don't really have to. That's the thing. You can put your palm over it and just imagine your energies going into it. There are a lot of different ways you can do it. And what's going to happen is that I'm going to charge these like they're sigils, right? And then I'll literally just put my hand over it and start the energy body and imprinting these items into there, because I just need to focus on these symbols at that point, because the intent is already in those symbols. Right? And so the other part of, I know you're like, well, wait, how does it get transferred over? And there's a lot more to magic than just the physical actions you're doing right here now, like this, right? There's a lot more that goes into it. How that gets broken down is kind of up for debate. But that is how it works, though. That's why you can think, oh, I need a servitor to help me find a parking spot or something like that, and then you can create one that will help you find a parking spot. And when he gets a good parking spot, then you give energy and stuff like that. And this one, what I'm going to do is, because I don't necessarily want it pulling energy from those gates, because some of these gates are lighter and some of these gates are going to be much darker, right? There's gonna be a wide range of things that are going to go on, a wide range of energies. That's part of the point of it, and so I don't necessarily want it pulling from that. So initially, what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed it with charged incense first, and then I can also feed it with candles. And the reason I'm doing that instead of letting it pull from me is because I'm already having it pull energy from stars and gates, which means it's also going to push energy into stars and gates, right? And I don't want it to get used to getting energy from me, and I want to kind of control what energy goes into it until it's more fully established. Because if it's used to using lunar energy or solar energy, will that change the gate? Will that change the charging process or corrupt it somehow? And I don't think so, but I would rather make sure. So I'm going to be a little bit more hands-on right now than I will be later, right? Because I can just give it. I'll charge these pieces of incense and candles with just neutral energy, right, for it to use, and just kind of go from there. Because I kind of want to see how it changes over time, based on these energies that I'm asking it to touch and to be a part of, right? So it's a whole lot of words with a whole lot of not much else done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and, I should probably just go ahead and run my finger around this. Imagine there's a white light. To define this space, it's not like a holding circle. It's to define the space that these energies will be in, and it helps to focus my attention into that space and not have to worry about energy elsewhere at all. So imagine there's a white light or whatever color I want. It really doesn't matter. And I'll see it like it's crackling. If it's white crackling, black crackling, doesn't matter to me. But I'll just use white here for neutrality. Alright, and when it's done, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to touch this, and I'm going to send some of my energy into it. You can just imagine this if you need to. Just touch it and light it up with this. It doesn't have to be the same color as a circle, but it's probably easier on you. So just go ahead and do white here for me. Energize that. Now I'll slide my finger down to this next one to keep the connection. Charge that. Again, white. You don't have to look over every line if you don't want to. Just send the intent in there and just light that whole area up with white light or whatever color you're using. Now, I'm going to slide over here to create that connection. Same thing. Light it up like a white light or whatever color you're using. Now I'm going to slide this up to create to close that circuit. Okay, so all these are now active, right? So what I can do now is I can take my palm and place it over it and just send in a bunch of white light into this paper. Okay. Have it start to seem like it's a ball that goes around those three sigilized phrases we have in there, those instructions. Okay. Now hold it there for as long as you feel comfortable. Okay. And whether you can feel it or not, what you're going to do is you're going to come back and you're going to do it again and again and again until you feel that it is there. Now it is there. But this is also the way you're going to feed it. So if you keep the instructions and the visualizations the same, or you just send any energy into it like I am now, it's going to turn itself into a sort of creature. Well, it's a ball, but over time it may. And so what you're going to do is your first act is you're going to thank it. Say thank you for being created at my call. I have created you to create connections, charge gates, pull energy from stars and gates, and send energy to stars. Well, into gates from stars. You'll start to feel it solidify. All right. Now, if you have a very active magical place like I do here, then you may want to give it a home or something. So, if I want to, I can just use this stone. You tell it, you may enter this stone. You may use it as a home. Come when I call for you. And we will learn together. All right. That's it. Now, if you feel your spirit was fully formed, you put energy into it, it's coming out. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. Okay, we're going to feed on that later, right? We're going to feed it and grow, and it's going to get better at what it does, right? You can keep this if you need to recharge, or if you want to reinforce the creation steps and process again, which is why I kept these, and I'll keep these just in case. Maybe you want to create another one. Maybe you want to do it differently. But for now, that houses my servitor. That is going to be used for this. No, you have to have a gate to do this with. So what I'll do is I'll actually start training it in other ways first. Kind of a separate thing, but we can talk about that a little bit now. So what I can do is I can say I can open a sigil. And I can show it, hey, I don't want to use any of these candles here because they have a purpose. I wasn't planning on going this far with it. I don't want to use that stone. Oh, hell. All right, we can do this. Okay. I can use a piece of incense here if I really need to, and I really need to. So what I will do is I'm just going to go ahead and pull a card over here, and it's round. I don't think I'll be doing that one. Belial. Perfect, actually. If he doesn't mind, my Lord do mind. Okay. This candle was actually for Belial, and it is for later tonight. As soon as I get some sigilized names, I will be, I guess I don't really need this anymore, but then I will be using this candle. So what am I going to do? I'm going to open this up like I've talked about in the past. Go ahead and charge it, open it up, and I will say, Servitor, come. And I'll point to it, attach the energy here, move it into here. All right, now it's going to get better over time, but you can feel the energy already going into the candle. It works pretty well. I did give it some visualization, kind of what I wanted to do with that, but it's not going to be helped. We think that way. So now, is it going to be as fast as I am? And that is absolutely no, it's not. But it doesn't have to be. And then it's doing a pretty good job on its own. And I'll go ahead and ask it to stop. All right, please stop. Thank you for charging that candle. And as a reward, you can take the energy from this piece of incense and charge the rest of it. There, doesn't have to be much. Here you go. This incense is for you. Please enjoy it. Get your energy from it and rest. And that's really all there is going to be to it. And we're going to repeat this process. If you have the energy skills, you can in the specific areas you're asking for it to be good at, then you can show it that, and you can kind of you could say manually edit that those properties of them. But here there was energy being pulled into there. Otherwise, I would have taken it and manually connected it. I could even put this over here, or if I had drawn a sigil like that, I could open it. Because if it doesn't know what the open gate is, then it's going to once you, or at least the open sigil, excuse me, then it's going to once you show it, right? I could go ahead and stick that on top of here. I could stick that in on the same sigil, and then say, hey, transfer the energy over. So now you could say, why would I want to give Belial his own energy? And that is a very good question. But the point is that we're teaching it the skills that it needs. Okay, I guess this is kind of getting in the way a little bit, isn't it? Okay, sorry about that. Is that any better? I don't know. All right, let's see if I can see it in the camera. No, it looks all right. All right, so the point is we're teaching it the skill, right? And once it has the skill, we can better direct it on how to do what we want. Now, am I going to make an offering of Belial's energy to Belial? Well, I could, but it's probably not going to be worth much, right? He'll get some wax out of it, I guess, right? But it's important to remember that we are training this entity to have a certain skill sets. Here, let me close this. And the benefit will be later on when we can say, hey, there's a concert going on downtown. Transfer the energy from that concert and put it into this stone. Something like that you could use later. And that's really what you're getting to, but you have to do it, kind of baby steps a little bit first. And the more positive experiences you can give to it, the reinforce the behaviors you want, the better it's going to be. So, I don't know how long this is, but it's probably a lot longer than I was expecting it to be, and I'll apologize for the rambling, but I hope you found it useful. And like I said, this is something that I'm using right now. Actually, I'll start using it later tonight too, to train it up further, faster, and go from there, because I need it to transfer energy from places when I'm not here. So that way I have at least a trickle in coming in, so that I don't have to stand somewhere for however many hours it takes to get something to charge to the point where it exists. So I'll say that. All right. I hope you found it enjoyable, educational, and hopefully my light will come back here soon so that I can light things up a little bit better. But it's probably going to be a couple weeks to a month or so. So have a good night.